Hey guys, SP64 here, and I'm going to be talking about Sonic Forces because that's a game that just came out not too long ago. So as most of you will know, Sonic Forces was definitely a game where you were either excited about it or you just were not and you weren't interested in it at all. I personally was very excited for the game, more so because of the story than the actual gameplay itself. And that's one of the reasons why I'm going to be talking about the story and, you know, what I liked about it, what I didn't like about it. Another reason why I'm just going to be talking about the story is because I'm not necessarily a good gamer. I'm not that great at games. So, yeah, I don't know, I guess I just don't feel like I have the right to really criticize the gameplay or talk about it. And, you know, I've always been more into story than gameplay. I'm weird like that. I love games with a good story. Okay, so let's start off with what I liked about the story. I liked Shadow's DLC. I thought that was okay. Totally not just because Rouge had more of a main role in there. I mean, I like all of Team Dark, really, and it's nice to hear all of them with their current VAs, because we haven't really had Vic Mignogna, am I saying his name right? I'm so sorry if I'm not. He's the current voice of Omega, but we've never really heard him as Omega until Forces. So it's really nice to hear all of them together and that characters interacting together, like Shadow's going Rouge, and Rouge said Shadow like 30 million times in Shadow's DLC. So yeah, it was just nice hearing their voices. I love them. I know people are like, oh, Kurt Thornton, I don't like him. I like him, alright? I really liked how he sounded in Forces. My goodness, he's got better. He sounds so cool in Shadow's DLC. I liked that we got to see a glimpse of Infinite's backstory. Kinda sucks we didn't see his face, but mystery, I guess. Even though they showed his face in the comics, so I don't really understand that. I'm assuming maybe they were a bit lazy to kind of animate his face in. Wow, this is supposed to be positive. I'm saying about negative stuff. My goodness. But yeah, I like the backstory. I liked seeing that before he put the mask on, before he got the Phantom Ruby, he had a bit of an attitude to him. I mean, Infinite has got an attitude to him anyway, but I don't know, like he felt a bit different. But I kind of liked it. I liked the way he was like, yeah, to Eggman, like, oh, he's sassy. Oh. Even more sassy than we all believed him to be. Like, my goodness, I liked him, and it was nice hearing his normal voice. And my goodness, I think it's Liam O'Brien that voiced Infinite. Oh my god, Infinite's voice. Oh boy. Oh, that was a voice. It was also nice to know that Infinite was a mercenary, actually, so it wasn't like just an experiment that Eggman made, because when some more of the trailers kind of came out, it was implied that, you know, Infinite was an experiment of Eggman's. I was kind of like, no, because I really like the idea of a Mobian villain, because I can't really remember the last time we had a Mobian villain. You know, that wasn't like an entity or something. It's just a Mobian, just an everyday Mobian who just is a dick. So it's nice that we got a Mobian and he was a mercenary and he had his own squad. I liked that. I thought that was really cool. I also really liked the way that Shadow took down Infinite, because it was kind of a reference to the Shadow the Hedgehog intro. If you didn't notice, I thought that was really cool personally. I thought that was a nice touch. Wow, I haven't even got into the main story yet. My goodness. Okay, let's get into the main story. Oh my god, I really loved how much attention Silver got in the main story. Because, I mean, okay, like, some people don't like him, some people love him. I love him. I think he's a little cinnamon roll, and I think he deserves all the attention he got in this game, because he even fought Infinite at one point. That was such a cool moment. The first time I saw that, I was like, oh my god, he's fighting Infinite. I mean, he got his ass kicked like 5 seconds later, but it was still really cool. It was oh my god, it was just so cool that he had a lot of lines. He had probably the most lines out of, you know, the kind of resistance group besides Knuckles. You know, and it was like, oh, I'm happy. I'm happy he had so much attention drawn to him. I mean, it was nice seeing all of them there, really. Even though for quite a while I was kind of worried about Rouge, because she wasn't really shown off that much in the trailer, so I was like, oh my god, where's Rouge? Is she dead? Is she okay? You know, with all the rumours going on about a character dying, I was like, please, for the love of god, please don't kill Rouge off. I'll have to probably leave the Sonic fandom if that happened. And oh my god, can we just talk about Knuckles? I'm really proud of him. My goodness, I'm so proud that he was the leader. And oh my god, I love the fact that even when Sonic came back, you know, and everyone was like, oh, Sonic's back, Knuckles was still the leader, because I was kind of worried, like, oh, are they gonna kick Knuckles out of that role? Is Sonic gonna take over now? But they didn't. I'm so happy. I'm like, yes, he was still the leader. He was there when, you know, the final battle was going on. He did like a little, oh crap, I was gonna make a movie reference. You know what it is, it's with the blue paint and stuff. I'll pop it on screen. But it was so cool, and oh, I'm so proud of Knuckles. I'm so proud of him. He was, in comparison to Lost World, where you got sacrificed for little woodland creatures. It's just nice. It's a nice change of pace. Yes, he did feel slightly out of character, just a teeny bit, I gotta admit. But I just like the fact that he had a more of a serious role, and they took him a bit more seriously this time around. I really liked Matt Mercer as Espio, because for those who don't know, in Generations, Troy Baker was actually Espio's new voice actor at that time. So that's why Espio probably sounds a bit different in comparison to Generations, because I don't know why, I think Troy Baker just had other stuff to do, so he was like, okay, I'm not Espio anymore, and they got Matt Mercer in. And for those who don't know, Matt Mercer, oh my goodness, he voices so many cool characters. He voiced Leon Kennedy from Resident Evil. He voices, I should say, Levi from Attack on Titan. Oh my god, there was another role. Oh, for those Dragon Ball fans out there, he voices Hit, so there you go. He just voices a lot of cool characters. He has a very cool voice. And don't get me wrong, I love Troy Baker. I love him immensely. He's one of my favourite voice actors. But I actually prefer Matt Mercer over Troy, honestly, in terms of Espio. Matt just makes Espio sound so cool. I mentioned Omega earlier, but I never kind of said how it was actually cool to see Omega again. You know, it was really cool to see him again. Because I don't know, oh god, I think the last time we saw him was 06, honestly. Not including Olympics, I'm not including that shit, no. But yeah, the last time we saw him was 06, and it's like, oh my god, he's back. Oh, his model looks so cool, and he was all like, you know, messed up, and somehow was fine again. I'll talk about that a bit later on, but yeah, it was just really cool. And he shot Infinite, and oh, he had such a cool little intro, and it was just nice. And he moves much better than he did, you know, in 06. In 06, it was horrible. He, like, oh god, so static. But in this, he moves a bit more. I mean, he still moves like a robot, because he's a robot. But, you know, it just looks a bit nicer in comparison to 06. Oh wow, I just realised I haven't really talked about the avatar, have I? No. That was like one of the main selling points of Forces. Okay, the avatar. I like the avatar. For those who have seen Sega Scourge's Fury, will be a bit disappointed to know that, you know, Infinite and your avatar, they weren't friends or anything, they weren't related or, like, in a friendly way. The most, like, interaction they had before, you know, your character joins the Resistance is, you know, your avatar, like, they witness, they're, like, part of an attack against Infinite with these other OC-looking guys, and you know, your avatar is like all scared and cowardly, and they're trying to shoot him, and Infinite's all like, ooh, your fear is delicious, like in a really creepy but strangely arousing tone. I don't know. I'm so sorry. But yeah, that's about it. But I still think that was cool. You know, there was still a lot of interaction, and Infinite was kind of taunting your avatar, and like, oh, you know, you're a child. By the way, can we talk about that? The fact that your avatar gets called a child constantly throughout the game. You know, like Knuckles calls you like, oh, this brave kid. Infinite several times calls you child. I don't know why. Like, I don't know if Infinite's like a 40-year-old man or something. I don't even know. But yeah, you get called a kid a lot, and it's like, are we underage? Are we like a really tall child? Like, what's going on here? Yeah, I really like the avatar. I like the avatar's inclusion. I mean, okay, I feel like the appearances could have been done a bit, but I mean, the hedgehog's eyes aren't even connected. But, you know, for the most part, I liked how they looked. They gelled very nicely in the cutscenes. I liked the, like, relationship between your character and modern Sonic. I thought that was actually really sweet, especially the ending scene. It's like, oh, a little fist bump at the end. You know, that's cute, and your character goes off to do other things. It was a nice way that your character was written off as well, like, that's nice, you know, they go off and help others. That was really cool. I gotta say though, this isn't really like a negative or a positive thing, it was just kind of like a reaction I had, that I wasn't expecting from the story. I mean, we knew that the story was going to be a bit darker toned than previous Sonic games, but I don't think we realised just exactly how dark of a tone it was going to go for, you know? I mean, like, they say that Sonic got tortured? Like, my goodness, the first time I saw that, I literally shouted, oh my god, like, what is this? What? And for 6 months? 6 months he got tortured. What do they do to him? Well, I'm gonna talk more about that, because there was something that bugged me a bit about that. I'll talk about that in a second. But my goodness, torture? And then, of course, everyone's joked about, like, oh, the Knuckles said, oh, this is why it's called war. Everyone's joked about that line. Yes, it is kind of like, holy crap. But I thought that was cool. I thought that was a cool line, to be honest. So, yeah, it's a bit darker than we thought it would be. So, this is when we talk about the negatives of the story, because they are a few. And, I mean, they're quite big, I gotta be honest, which is disappointing. One of the biggest irks I kind of had was the villains team. They turned out to be illusions, so they weren't actually themselves, and it was like, shit, it would have been actually really cool if you know, Shadow had himself just gone, you know, to the dark side again, you know, and, you know, if there's a reason for it, because, oh god, ever since that villains trailer came out, and we saw all of them, and everyone was freaking out, like, oh my god, you know, it was more so about Shadow and Chaos, who I will get to in a second, but all of us were like thinking, oh my god, why is Shadow Chaos on that team? There's gotta be reasons for it and all that, and some people were saying, oh, it's mind control, and all of us were like, well, most of us were like, please god no. I was one of those people. I did not want it to be mind control, and in a way I'm glad it's not mind control, but still, illusions is kind of like, really? Like, that kind of sucks, especially since we didn't actually get to fight Shadow. So it's like, okay, so Shadow just comes in after 6 months of apparently just not being here. Like, I was hoping they would explain where he was for 6 months in his DLC. They don't, so what was Shadow, like, where was he for 6 months? Was he just in the Bahamas or something, just chilling out? Like, where was he, Shadow? Where were you, Shadow? For 6 months. You lazy bastard. And the biggest offender on the villains team is Chaos, because my god, he literally he didn't need to be there at all. Because one of the other reasons why so many people were hyped about Chaos is because, like, oh my god, we're gonna fight Chaos again. That's gonna be so cool. And we had a Zabok fight. That was cool. I like the boss battle for that. We had a Metal Sonic fight. Okay, he's giant, but whatever. That's cool. Shadow kind of comes in and kicks the other Shadow, like, oh, it's a bit of a shame, but okay, I guess they had to put Shadow in this game somehow and explain, well, they didn't explain, but yeah. Chaos, he goes to Tails, again, who I will talk about in just a second, and goes to attack him, and then gets booped on the head by Classic, and that's about it for him, except for the final battle. Why was he in this game? There was no boss battle. It's just, oh my god, it's so disappointing. Like, he was literally forced into this game, and it really annoys me that he just had he was hyped up so much, and they were like, oh, why is Chaos here? And we don't even get to fight him. Like, really, Sega? Why? Why include him when why? Speaking of characters who shouldn't have been there and were forced into the game, let's talk about Classic Sonic. I'm gonna be honest right now and say that when the 25th anniversary party and with the teaser came up and Classic Sonic came in and everyone cheered, I didn't cheer. I was actually quite annoyed. I was like, oh, for God's sake, you know, it's him? Really? I thought we were gonna get a character that, you know, from Sonic's friends, I don't know, like, even just Tails would have been nice. Like, really? Classic? And the reason for that is because I just felt like at that point, Classic was taken over. You know, he had Mania, he had, you know, like, action figures being, you know, that are shown off, and Modern had nothing at that point. There was nothing about shown for Modern. So when the Modern teaser trailer came on, I was like, oh my god, this is gonna be so cool. And then Classic comes in, I just felt like they don't seem to trust the Modern Sonic on his own, so they shove Classic in there. It's like, why? And you know, with Mania and all of that, and if you play Mania, you know how it ends with the Phantom Ruby and him being sucked into a portal, and then in Forces he comes out of a portal. Yeah, I was like, okay, you know, this could be alright. He has a bit more of a reason to be in Forces now. Except he doesn't. He literally served barely any purpose into the story. He was just kind of there to be Tails' friend because Tails got replaced by your avatar. Oh god, like, he didn't need to be there. He really didn't need to be there. And it kind of sucks, you know? He was just kind of there just to be like, oh, Classic's there. Here you go. Here you go. It's your, for you retro fans, it's Classic Sonic. Though I do appreciate the Generations joke that Modern Sonic made. I know a lot of people facepalmed, like, oh, really? Like, it's been generations since I've seen you? Oh, that's terrible. I pissed myself laughing when he said that. I'm gonna be honest right now. I loved that joke. I thought that was hilarious. Yeah, it is stupid, but I still love it, so yeah. Wasn't a fan, though, of Modern Sonic at the very end when Classic Sonic died. He looked like he died, though. Like, my goodness. That was a death scene. Maybe Classic Sonic died. So, anyways, I wasn't a fan of, you know, Modern going up to Tails because Tails was sad that Classic left, and he was like, oh, don't worry, I'm sure we'll see him again soon. Please no. Please can we not see Classic again in Modern? If you're gonna bring him back, keep him in his own dimension, because apparently he's from another dimension. Apparently it's not young Sonic now. Okay. But no, like, I want Modern to not have Classic. Please, can Modern just be on his own now? It's been done. They said in, like, Generations, you know, like, oh, you know, this is gonna be the only time he appears, he's not gonna come back. You know, then Sonic Dash comes out and he's in there. It's like, okay, that's cute. Runners, he was in that. Okay, that's fine. And then in Forces, it's like, well, shit, you know? Why don't you just integrate him into Modern's world now? Because apparently he's the new Sonic. I don't know, like, I like... It's silly to be like, oh, I prefer Classic, I prefer Modern, because to me they're both the same character. So, but I like both Sonics. I like them both, but I don't like this theme that seems to be happening of them shoving Classic into Modern Sonic games, because to me it seems like they just don't want to put Modern Sonic as his own because they feel like no one will buy the game if it's just Modern Sonic, and that's not true. People will buy the game even if it's just Modern Sonic, and so many people have said, you know, Classic Sonic didn't need to be in Forces, and it's true. He really did not need to be in there. He had a little side quest with Tails and it was boring as shit, you know? I barely even played the Classic Sonic stages. I was that uninterested. I got Sega Scourge to play them for me. You know, I was that uninterested in it. I was like, you know what, you just play it. I just want to play Modern and my avatar. So, yeah. Sorry Classic, I love you, but just stay out of Modern's games. Just for like another 10 years, please. That'll be great. And now let's get on to Tails. My goodness, Tails, what have they done to you? You know, you used to be really cool. You disarmed a missile on your own. You took on Eggman on your own. You had this whole arc in Adventure, you know, about like, oh, I'm not scared. I need to stop being dependent on Sonic. And God, in Lost World, oh God, I did not like Tails in Lost World. He seemed to just be on his period on that day. I don't know what happened. He just seriously seemed to be like he was on his period that day because he was just so angry at everyone. He was like, oh, you trust Eggman more. You're not my friend. You hate me. Like, I don't know. Tails, like, it's okay, Tails. You know, every girl gets it when they're blossoming into a woman. It's fine. But my goodness, so much sass in that game. It was unreal. So unlikable. And in Forces, my goodness. I mean, it's not that he had an attitude on him. Thank God. You know, I'm glad they got rid of the attitude. But it's just, oh my God, he was such a wuss. My goodness, in like one of the first cutscenes, he was with the Mobians and he was scared of like 3 robots. 3! Why, what? What's going on there, mate? Like, come on. He disarmed a missile! Disarmed a missile! And then, oh, I hate the cutscene when Classic comes in. I hate it. Because it shows Tails like fixing Omega. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry, I wasn't smart enough. It's like, okay, Tails, calm down. And then Chaos comes in. You know, Chaos Zero, bear in mind. Chaos Zero, the simplest form of Chaos, comes in. He's like, oh, yo, what's up? And Tails is like, Sonic, help me! What? He fought, what was it, Chaos 4? It's like, he fought Chaos before on his own. in much worse forms. Them eating asking for help. Like, what happened? I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it at all. Tails, what's happened to you, mate? You're going down the... I don't even know what... You fought Chaos 4! Yes, suffice to say, I'm not happy with Tails. I'm really not happy with how they've written him so far. It's not good at all. In Lost World, he was a little bitch. He was too sassy for my liking. He had too much attitude. Didn't like him at all. Forces, he was a massive pussy. Even though he... Oh, Tails, buddy, what have they done to you? Well, that character development just crashed and burned. My goodness. Another kind of negative thing is in relation to Omega. I just thought it didn't make sense how, you know, when we first see him, he's been destroyed. I mean, if you read the comics, you'll know why. Or, I mean, they kind of explain it in Shadow's backstory. DLC, sorry. They kind of explain it in Shadow's DLC. Basically, Infinite beat the shit out of Omega. That's essentially what happened. So the first time we see him, he's like all messed up and Tails is trying to fix him. And apparently it's beyond Tails' repair. You know, even Tails can't, like, fix him. And then, like, we don't see him at all. For the rest of the game, we don't see him. Until the very end, he's good as new. What happened? Huh? What happened to him? How did he fix himself? What happened? Like, huh? I just thought that didn't make any sense. I guess the final thing I'll say, because, oh my goodness, this is going to be a really long video, I'm so sorry. The final thing I'll say in terms of negative stuff about the story is kind of related to Infinite. It was Shadow's DLC, you know, and everyone's made the joke about, like, how Infinite reacted and how he came to be Infinite. You know, it was because, like, Shadow pretty much acted like a school bully, shoved him in a locker, said, "Oh, don't show your face around here again," and then Infinite cried like a little baby. You know, he just don't like that at all. He was like, "I'm not weak, I'll show you I'm not weak." That's pretty much what his backstory was in the game. You know, and it was just kind of like, really? I mean, I like the first person perspective. I like that he was shaking. I kind of liked it, but I don't know. I do admit that transformation was a bit too like, huh? Like, come on, just after being called that, you know, huh? Yeah, like, what? Come on, it should have taken a little bit more than just being called weak and pathetic. Like, come on. So that's about all I can think of right now, to be honest. I probably missed some stuff, but those are the main things I kind of noticed about the story. For the most part, Forces was how I expected it to be. I didn't expect it to be great and grand and amazing, but I didn't expect it to be the most horrible game on the face of the universe. It's kind of like in the middle for me. I predicted it was going to be in the middle. You know, it's going to be a good game. I still play it, you know, I still go back and play it to unlock new items for my avatar, so I like it, you know, I'm still playing it a little bit. I'll probably, you know, I mean, there is going to be a part where, you know, I'm just not going to touch the thing for probably months, but I will. It's the kind of game where I can imagine going back to after a few months. I'll be like, oh, let's play this again. I feel in the mood for Forces, you know. So yeah, it's a good game. I like it. It's not perfect. It definitely has flaws, definitely. But it's not the worst game in the world. It's just good. It's a good game, in my opinion, anyway. But you guys tell me what you think, I guess, about the story or just the game in general. You know, did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you just kind of, you know, have the same view as me in terms of like, oh, it's just good, kind of thing? Just let me know in the comments below. I'm sorry this was such a long, very unscripted video. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.